Hey, this is Bishop with Thunder Horse, and you're watching the Heavy Galaxy Show. Play it loud.
We're back with another episode of the Heavy Galaxy Show at heavygalaxy.com. And today, on today's episode, we're going down to America's finest city, the great city of San Diego, California. We're pleased to have with us the guys who wrote and recorded the clip you just heard to the intro to the show. Too. Light My Way. For Heavy Rock Champs Formula 400, we got Dan and Kit with us. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming on. How are you?
Thank you. Doing great. How are you?
Doing good.
Doing great, guys. Doing great. Well, let's get into it, guys. A lot going on with the band. I know you guys got obviously you had your most recent release, Divination, that came out this past spring. We'll talk about that a little bit. We've obviously you guys got some big performances coming up that we'll get into as well, live performances. But let's start things off. The most recent news from the band. You guys got a new guitarist, Alex, in the band. So tell us a little bit about Alex. And where'd you guys find him? And I guess what does he bring to the band that really adds to the chemistry you guys already have that you built up over the years?
I'll let Kip take that one. He's the one that found him. So
all right.
Yeah, I found him and Lou, by the way.
This guy knows how to put a rhythm section together, I guess.
Nice.
I don't know. It's just, you got to go through these people and figure it out somehow. But actually, I found both guys on bandmix.com.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so, I just kind of go and look at everyone's profile and, hope it's a good choice and bring them in, and pretty much 2 for 2 on that. So
we've had some negative experiences as well. Let's not forget.
Right, I'm sure.
We're not
bad now. No,
that high of an average.
You're right.
Nice. Well, I was going to say, is Alex's role now, is it going to be the same as what Ian's was? I mean, is he going to be doing any vocals, or Dan, is that going to be you now the whole way going forward, do you think? Or you don't know?
He has taken over the songs that Ian was singing in addition to singing the backups. So he's pretty much filled the entire the space.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
So we were lucky to find somebody who could do both. We were having trouble with a lot of people saying it's a lot to ask for,
Yeah.
And somebody who can do short tour dates and go out of town, and it is a big role to fill. So
Well, talk to us, guys, a little bit about the departure of Ian. I mean, a founding member, part of this band. Obviously, a lot of harmony, vocals, and guitar work going on. Talk to us a little bit about the departure of Ian.
It was a shock, kind of a surprise. Well, yeah, it was a surprise for sure. We just gotten back from our little run in Texas, and we had some snags along the way, but I didn't think it was anything serious, and I guess it was more serious than I had anticipated. And we got a text in the morning saying I'm done. So not even in person; it was through a phone call or a text message. kind of a fucked up way to start your Monday morning. I'm at work at 5 in the morning. And I get a text at 7 in the morning, like, "Hey guys, I'm out."
You're all beaten up from the road and shit. You got to get back to work. Oh,
yeah. I think a little bit of personal differences and just music differences. I think he wanted to go a different way. And I wanted to go heavier. He kind of wanted to go more classic rock, more Southern style, which I think is fine in small pieces, in little bits. But
yeah, that is an interesting dynamic, particularly on the first album. Is you have some of that
Sure.
Southern rock vibe, Southern, I'd say heavier rock, but
Right.
harder rock. And then you had, some driving stuff. But this album definitely feels like it heavies it up a little bit, which I imagined that was pretty sure I was right until now you validated that Dan certainly has a little edge, a little bit more on there. So
I feel like, I kind of feel like we were pushing a lot of his songs out because he was writing stuff that we weren't wanting to play. And he probably felt that he wasn't getting his creative due. So, I'll take blame for that.
And that stuff's tough. I mean, this isn't the first time a band has gone through something like that. So,
sure.
And you got quite a history with him. You've done some other stuff with him as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I played in Shield of Snakes with him as well for a couple years.
Oh yeah.
Which is definitely a Southern rock band. So.
Yeah. Definitely. And Kip, any input on any of that, or you're just happy to make no comment?
Like a deer in the headlights.
I think he froze.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, his camera froze.
Well, with the new back just in time. We were just talking about you.
I had to go to the bathroom.
That was fast.
Yeah, jeez.
You got a bottle underneath you there, yeah?
Yeah.
Now,
Like what you use on the road.
Exactly. There you go.
Now, Kip, previous to this band, had you worked with both Dan and Ian, at different stuff before as well?
Well, yeah, Dan and I were in a previous band called Ride the Sun.
Yep.
And so
not with Ian though, yeah.
Not with Ian, no. Ian was not in that, right.
I'm just saying, just in general.
Yeah, in general, yeah.
Dan had recorded the album. We had another guy in the band at the time, and then he backed out, and then we got Dan into the band. So
yeah.
So Dan and I have been playing for a while.
Yeah, it's been quite some time, yeah.
Ride the Sun's an interesting band. Kind of goes old school back stoner rock to a kind of a heyday of sorts. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Sean from Red Desert in that band at one time as well?
No. There was a song that was shared.
Okay.
That the writer Lydell Arboleda brought over and said, "Hey, you guys want to?"
Okay.
What
song was that?
Yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe that's right. I remember it was one of the Minnesota boys. It was Lydell.
It's Lydell.
Yeah,
Arboleda.
Yeah.
He was mostly the sole songwriter in that band. So, I on the last thing we did with Ripple Music, the Second Coming of Heavy, I wrote 3 of the songs on that one, but before that, he had pretty much written all of the tunes. So, kind of where I got my start from, actually, is songwriting in general was through with Lydell.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and that's a great split and everything as well. I remember seeing you guys with High Priestess on tour.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think it might even have been my show.
And Salem's Bend. That was at the beauty bar. Yeah.
That's right. And your drummer got so drunk, I think he puked on stage or something.
No, he was so overheated. It was like 108 degrees that day.
It's a dry heat. Come on.
I remember almost passing out on that stage as well. It was quite hot.
Yeah, that venue now is like an ice cream.
It's too bad. They had really good sound there. I liked that stage.
Yeah.
It was nice.
They did.
Yeah, it was a nice stage because it was up there and everything. Yep. And it got cool artwork on the back of the wall and all that, which I thought really added to kind of a urban feel to it. Right. Yeah. Just unfortunately, the owners got divorced. They're both like fucked around at each other, and they're both doing way too much blow.
Sounds like Vegas.
Like shoes off the deep fucking end. Like one of the last shows was King Buffalo, And
wow.
I still blame that show for why they haven't been back since. I mean, it was like probably 55, 60 of us at the most. And I remember begging the venue, like, just let me help you. This band is too good for people not to know that the show was happening. And they were so out of control. There was just nothing you could do. But yeah, the loss of a venue, that's just the way it goes, right?
Happening all over the place, unfortunately, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But someone usually picks it back up along the way.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about this latest album. You know,
Okay.
tell us a little bit about what you know, when you went into it, what was some of the ideas, you know, that was going on as far as material? What were some of the motivations behind, you know, some of the songwriting and lyrics and so on, Dan?
It was
Ben.
yeah, well, we got
the opening track.
I know you know that story.
Hey, John told me a little bit about that.
There,
Yeah.
no one else does, so we're going to let them know.
I'll touch on that in a minute. I think I'll just put it out there that it's definitely more stressful doing a follow-up album than the first album, just because if you've had any sort of, you know, success or anybody likes it, then you're kind of like trying to recreate what you had maybe, or you know, maybe you've, and you know, as time rolls on, you change. And I think the way you think and the way you write changes too. So, you know, it's not like you're writing for people, but you're writing for yourself, but you just don't know if those same people are going to attach or latch on to what you're doing, you know? So I think that's what I was thinking when I was going into it, knowing that it would sound different than the first record, just because we're not AC/DC, you know, I don't know how to, it's actually, that's really hard to write the same song over and over again and make it sound different. It's quite challenging.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's heavier though. I mean, that's the first thing I noticed was more double bass in there too on the drums. Obviously, some more up tempo songs, like Kick Stands Up. You know, has like a total like Motorhead type of feel to it.
Right.
Spellbound, Spellbound's an interesting track too because it's got that really like bridge part with that guitar, and you know, you guys definitely did some different things, you know, no doubt. And like John was saying, I mean, was that now, and like you were just kind of alluding to before, I mean, you wanted to go more heavy where Ian wanted to go more Southern rock. So I'm going to assume this was a lot of you on this record because of the heaviness, right? Yeah.
I wrote 7 out of the 9 songs.
Okay.
So yeah, mostly.
Yeah. Okay.
We kept Spellbound and Stardust. Those were the ones that Ian wrote. And those were the best tunes that he had, I think. And I like those songs. I think they're great songs. Spellbound, it's different for sure. It's something we haven't done before.
Yeah.
But definitely heavier. I mean, I grew up listening to metal, so you know, it kind of comes naturally to me to toe the line on the heavy side, but trying to keep it not too heavy either. There's a fine line between straight double bass and, you know,
to keep it heavy rock instead of heavy metal. Yeah,
exactly.
That's
you don't want people to be like, that's a metal band. Yeah, labels are labels, I suppose, anyways. But
what was funny is when you did the one show, Planet as Rock, and you got a review from someone here in Vegas. They called you thrash. And I was like, I was so thankful that she even bothered, because these people don't know a lot about any of these subgenres. I mean, they're really focused on what they know here.
Well, I was listening to the Stephen Bishop episode, and he's like he said, everything's doom now. You know, everything is under the umbrella of doom. So,
not for me, it isn't. And I tell people there is no one genre. So I mean, I want to hear a description of a band. I need to hear at least 2 to 3 different things because I respect enough of what bands do to know it's very rare. It's just boom. It's just metal.
Exactly.
It's just doom.
Exactly.
And you guys fall under a lot of stuff. I mean, your debut album, it really kicked ass. I mean, a lot of people. Light Midway, easily one of the best songs that's been written over these years. I remember when Kip hit me up, like, which song should we consider for the first release? And and he sent them to me, and I was listening. And I do it for a couple of days. I don't just do it like, make a decision after one listen. I think that's silly. But yeah, it's probably the third go around. I'm like, what song is this? Yes, that's the one. Wow. I go, it's got a little COC in there, and that's good. Because I think that there's some familiarity.
Yeah.
That's a good thing for many people to capture that first listen.
Sure. I was thinking Billy Gibbons when I wrote that song. People pick up on the COC thing, but I was thinking ZZ Top almost. And I get where that comes from. It's funny because I had written that song minus the vocals a couple years prior, and it was just sitting on my computer with a drum machine track, just kind of waiting for something to happen. And I brought it in, and that was the last song we tracked for the first album.
Oh, really? Wow.
And it almost didn't even make the record because we almost didn't have enough time to do it. And it was like the last session of the drums we had that day. I was like, hey man, I got this song. Let's work it out, and it just kind of came together. So,
Very cool. Wow.
I mean, as a guy who kind of, works with you guys on some of this stuff, I got to say that song is what busts you guys out per se. And it crosses over like in different directions too. So it's not just, metal or doom heads or stoner rock fans. It really gets into, I don't call it radio rock, when radio rock was good. I mean, hell, COC and Monster were on radio. You know what I mean?
I'm not ashamed of putting a hook in a song. I don't think it's a poppy thing to do. It's just.
I don't think it is either.
No, at all.
It's good songwriting. It's what it's called.
They have hooks for sure,
Yeah.
You
notice that. Yes. One of the best. I mean, I think they're the most solid every single album band there is.
Released many albums that are.
Kip, wouldn't you agree?
Still,
Absolutely.
A long time ago, Kip and I met. Remember that? No, or wasn't it? But before that, out in the desert. So I loved the Sasquatch so much, but I hadn't seen them.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I'm going to drive. And I was divorced, so like all this time and everything else. And I'm like, I'm going to drive out to Palm Springs and watch them at, I don't know, what was the Hood or something. And
was that like Stoned and Dusted or something? Or
no,
okay.
Just they were just playing a
random show.
Pre-show before they went on to Europe, and they're with House of Broken Promises, which I already knew Arthur some.
Right.
At least talk some. So I somehow or another, Kip and I knew each other a little bit through Facebook, and I'm like, I'm driving out there because I really hadn't even been to Palm Springs or something more than maybe once. So I'm like, I'm going to go out there and catch these guys, hang out, small venue, and Kip is like, oh, I'm going to, and I'm like, well, I'm going to stay at the Hard Rock, and he's like, all right. So I'm like, all right, dude, meet me at the bar. And we go over there together. And we say, it's funny, is it? And it was a funny night, man. Drink a lot of pitchers of beer. Keith for the first time. Such a nice guy. He said that I felt like I'd known him for years, the way we were talking. Right. And it was just, it was one of those super fun shows. Great band. And it's funny how we all, get to meet each other over time. And
sure.
And we all have a love for the music as well. And the new album, certainly. Tell us about the Whiskey Band.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. for those that didn't read the article that was posted about it. Well, let's see. We were playing Counts Vamped in Vegas with Void Vader, I believe, wasn't it?
I think so.
I think it was that show, yeah.
A Vegas Rock Revolution production.
Yeah, of course. Vegas Rock Revolution.
Means it's a party.
Means it's a party, yeah. Because Counts Vamp comps you like, I don't know.
Treats you like gold, man.
80,
Treats you like a real musician.
$80 in booze or something like that.
Wow,
so between four people, that can go a long way, If you play
it gets you started.
You for some people.
Yeah.
So, we killed the tab. It was probably 2 a.m. We hung out all night, hanging out with Void Vader and just hanging out. And then we drove back. We were staying at the Golden Nugget. Was that what it was? I believe on Fremont Street. Yeah. And the
nicest casino on Fremont Street. It's the oldest, one of the oldest, but it's literally the nicest.
Right. And it's like right on the strip right there. It's
right there in Fremont.
The road is right there. Yeah. Yep. So I had grabbed a 6-pack of some IPAs before we left. And I slammed them because I got like a lot of adrenaline going. After the show, I'm really hyped and lots of metal rock and roll stuff going on. So I get all this adrenaline flowing. I'm slamming beers. I feel fine. I don't feel drunk at all, because it just happens that way. Yeah. And then after I finished those, Lou, the drummer, and I went down to the casino just to walk around. And of course, we found a bar. First thing, when we get down there, we start ordering mixed drinks, which anybody who drinks knows that that's a bad
mix,
combination after you've already been drinking a ton of beer. So
Especially IPAs, yeah.
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 So like 8% beers, then on to
Mm.
whiskey, Cokes, and had a couple of those. Apparently, I kind of blacked out in the casino, and he helped me. The screen changed there. He helped me back up to my room, and everything was fine. He left, and apparently I had other plans, and I wandered back outside onto the streets.
Oh shit.
without my room key or my wallet.
Oh man.
And I passed out in the planter in front of the hotel.
Oh.
It must have been 4 a.m. or so.
Nice.
Someone found me and they called in security.
Oh shit.
I was taken into custody by security. They called an ambulance, gave me fluids, and
oh Jesus!
Wow.
Security held me hostage for like an hour or two until Lou came and got me out.
Kip, where were you? Come on, man.
Oh, well, I got my own story to that whole thing. I got back to the Nugget, I don't know, it was around 2:30, and the parking garage was full. And I had only like $4,000 in gear in the back of my truck, and the guy's just like, "Sorry, bro, like it's full." And bigger than shit, I went up there like 3-4 times, like there is no parking in here. So I was up all night because I had to park my truck like in a no parking zone, and I had to have the parking guy, "Hey, you watch my truck." So I was in and out all morning, and I don't think I got parking finished till I don't know, like 7 a.m. And then I ended up meeting Lou and Dan downstairs. And I think all three of us were zombies in our own way, but
right.
But so yeah.
Would you have Ian drive home?
Yeah, he did actually. He drove my truck. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I actually offered. He was like, "Oh no, hell no."
Exactly. Always a party in Vegas. No doubt about it. At a biggest rock.
That's a rock and roll right there for you, man. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a rock and roll moment.
Well,
I want to ask you guys too about just going back to Heathens real quick. You guys released that record during the pandemic, which was kind of an interesting time too. To put out your first record. I mean, a lot of bands obviously put out records, but your first record that must have been pretty interesting. Did you guys ever think about holding that off, or did you just like, nah, fuck it, we got to get it out there, even though we can't really play shows for it or anything, right? Because I mean, obviously, I'm sure there was San Diego, was any bars open or clubs open there at the time that you guys were able to play?
Full lockdown. No, there were
right, yeah.
0 bars. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no shows, no music, nothing whatsoever.
But you played that
no
one
restaurants.
show. But you played that one show at Till 2.
Shh. That was.
Oh yeah. Well, that's right.
That wasn't supposed to happen. No,
that was illegal.
We weren't technically supposed to be playing there, and they let it out anyways.
It was supposed to be a live stream thing.
Yeah.
With no audience. But an audience showed up.
Yeah, well, I mean, I came.
To answer your
few other people I know.
To answer your question, though, I think we saw so many bands that were breaking up, and like it was a strange time. There were lots of things happening, but then a lot of people were like really afraid, and we just kind of threw the dice. We're just like, well, we've got this music. Who knows how long this thing's gonna fucking last? So just get it out there, and it
worked good.
It probably helped us out in the long run, because I think people were sitting at home listening to music and not going to work.
Yeah.
So
it's true. Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah,
yeah, way more captive audience.
Yeah,
when we were out there hearing it.
It was the perfect time to write and record, actually. So
it turned out to be, yeah. It really did.
Because you just go, you're going to write more anyway. So
yeah,
and the time to get it out and the various methods and everything else, it took a while to get it on vinyl. I remember that. As vinyl was a big problem during COVID.
Sure, yeah.
Obviously with a bunch of shit. So
Right.
worked out, I think, real good. I mean, I think a lot of people had that audience opportunity as people were spending a lot more
as a non-established band, you know, I mean, we had nothing to lose either, honestly.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
If you got a ton of followers and you release a bad record or something, people care. But if you're nobody,
right?
That's true. Yeah,
you can think of it that way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, definitely we got to talk about obviously upcoming SoCal Heavy Jam, the second annual one that's coming up on September 30th down in San Diego at the Full Circle Saloon. We're both going to be there, so we're looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. Obviously, Unita, Sasquatch, you guys, Meswa, just such another great lineup. So, I mean, talk a little bit about how this thing, came to fruition, last year, and because it looks like this is going to be, I guess, an annual thing you guys are going to be doing. It looks like, correct?
That's the idea. Yeah. It was basically myself and Nacho Maldonado from Mesua. We just we would always meet up and go out to breakfast and stuff, and we would just talk about music and stuff. And it seemed like everybody had festival fever, and we just thought like, well, San Diego didn't have anything. I mean, this is a great destination. Why don't we come up with our own? And so that's basically what we did. We came up with the name, and then we had to go find a venue. And actually, some of the venues were like ridiculously expensive. We were just like, oh, this isn't going to happen. And then we decided to try Michelle Bailey, the owner of Full Circle Saloon, and she was immediately on board. I mean, it was just seriously, I think we had a 5-minute conversation. She's like, oh yeah, wow. No problem. Let's do it. And you know what, let's get together with, I'd like to do it with Cole Lewis and introduce her charity and all that. And we were like, oh, that's just awesome. I mean, Cole Lewis has been a rock and roll DJ in San Diego for many, many years. And so it was just kind of a win-win. And we brought Jason on board because Jason's really good with all the tech stuff and he wanted to be part of it. And so we put together last year's, and it was a success. I mean, we couldn't believe it. It went off really well. And so we were like, let's do it again and make it a little, stepped it up a notch. And got some, bigger bands, and here we are. So, nice. It's a small fest. Me, Nacho, and Jason. We have 3 bands that are in it. So we bring in 6 different bands in addition, and put it on. So it's it's just a one-day blowout fest. But I think it's working. It may get bigger. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. No,
yeah, I thought it was pretty well attended for a first time last year. The venue was pretty darn cool. I thought you were nice enough to let me play music between sets.
Well, that was something that you took care of that I completely forgot about. So it was great having you there and go, hey, I'll take care of the tunes. I'm like, oh, perfect. I just, sometimes you just can't think of everything when you put one of these on.
Yeah. Remember that guy was playing like 80s metal or something. We're like, hey, I got something.
The sound guy?
Yeah, that's Paul, the sound guy. He's he's an 80s guy, big time.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. And he was like so stuck in the past. So I'm like, all right. And once we talked, and I need that one little widget thing to stick between the aux, the whatever, the cord, and then this thing. Right. So that I was running all around like trying to find one that Jason had one. Thank God. The tech guy.
Right.
The tech guy. Of course he did.
Yeah. It was funny.
The tech guy. He's got all that stuff.
Yeah. It took a while though. I was sweating. I was like, what the fuck? We're going to have to listen to this shit all day long. Like, there's going to be like one line or something on there. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And, but I thought it went well. It was good. I think, you really stepped it up. Lineup wise, I mean, geez. I mean, we just talked about a couple of the guys that your headliners. I mean, Sasquatch, and then of course we were talking about Arthur Seal a bit earlier, from Housework of Promises, him and Mike Cancino, and they're also Unita. So Unita, really has not played a lot in America in years and years, and it's gonna be cool to have them in San Diego.
Absolutely. I'm just, glad they could do it because they, of course they have Mark Sunshine singing and he lives back in Jersey. So it was missed there for a while, if they could make it, but I guess it corresponded with their tour close enough. So it worked out. Yeah.
I mean, cause they're playing like Ripple Fest, which is like, the week before.
The weekend before. Right.
And what's funny is after you were telling me that stuff, they're like, yeah, they're heading on tour like a week or two after that. And I was like, oh, all right. Maybe I should book them in Vegas too. So we got you guys. So we have, for you listeners out there that live in, that are interested ever in coming to Vegas for a weekend, we have Friday, October 6th, Unita and Formula 400.
Nice.
Along with a really good local band, Von Bolt, which is kind of like a horror rock metal band with all kinds of stuff going on stage. Nice. Very creative band. So really, and that's gonna be a vamp too. So super excited about that. And when it comes in town, you can, if you stay until Tuesday, on Monday night we'll be 1,000 Mods in the Well. So a couple good shows within just days of each other. But man, your lineup is great. It's funny
also,
as I look. Go ahead.
Zed doesn't come down to Southern California very often either.
They're up here,
mostly up in the Bay Area. So if
Great.
you've never seen them before, it's a perfect opportunity to catch them without driving the 10 to 12 hours to get up there.
Good band too. Good live band.
We played with them at they definitely are. We played with them at Maryland Doomfest, and just really cool guys. I actually caught a plane ride back home with the guitar player. So
nice.
Really cool guy.
Which one?
What is his name? Is it George?
Was it the guy that doesn't sing? The singer?
Yeah, it's the guy that doesn't
Peter's
sing.
the front man.
It's not the front man. Yes,
yeah. They have a cool two guitar kind of thing themselves.
Yeah.
And the guy you sat next to, he really is like, he kind of just fits in there and adds these cool textures.
Yeah.
Stuff. It's great.
Another good story about that one is after Maryland Doomfest, I was flying out from Baltimore the next day, and we got there at 5 a.m, and the flight was probably at 7, and we almost missed our flight still after 2 hours of waiting, just because of the craziness of traveling on a Sunday, I suppose. But I ended up next to him by just rare happenstance. I don't know how that happened, but it was the only seat on the plane available. It's meant to be.
Funny.
Yeah. So I couldn't believe it.
Zed's
in my mind,
cool
I'm in like this horrible place. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna miss my flight. This fucking sucks. And then I get on the plane, and the only seat's next to him. I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Nice.
Were you a middle seat?
No, I was actually in the aisle. It wasn't too bad.
Oh wow, look out! That's pretty damn good for a last seat. Wow, damn.
Yeah, that's a cool band to have in the mix, and of course, you guys, Desert Sons, which Jason's now part of. They've been around for a good bit of years down there in San Diego as part of the Stoner Rock heavy psych doom scene, right, Kip? I mean, you've known those guys for a good little bit.
Yep. They've been around for a while, and they've gone through some member changes. So, but they're just killing it. They've got new music coming out, new video coming out, and they're doing it all themselves. So it's taking a little bit longer than normally, but hopefully we'll hear all that at SoCal Heavy Jam.
Nice.
Yeah. And of course, our old buddy Nacho and Mezua playing outstanding band.
Oh yeah.
So under the radar for so many people, but wants to give it a shot and hear them the first album is the most easily consumable because it's not as long, as many songs as the follow-up.
Right.
And then the second one, it continues a great sound still. Nacho and those guys are good peeps. And that they just, every time they play in front of people are surprised and they get new fans. It's pretty much an automatic. And Salem's Bend, longtime Vegas Rock Revolution band, played since my second show I ever did. So cool to get Bobby and those guys down. Fun group of guys right there.
They also don't come to San Diego very often, so it'd be cool to see them again. Yeah.
I saw them with Kind in San Diego. Well,
wow.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, at Brick by Brick, the only tour Kind's ever done. And that's when I got to meet everyone from the Kind or whatever. So really, really interesting, cool blend of sounds they have. And then, of course, on the other side of the docket, two really heavier bands. One band I know Kip really loves, Lords of Dust. Tell us a bit about the background of Lords of Dust, guys.
Well, the singer Dan came from another band called Albatross Overdrive. And that band is now defunct. But so he left that band, or I don't know what happened. Anyway, there was drama or something, but he left that band and he formed that band. He formed he went through some changes too, to get that band off the ground. And but they I don't know. I mean, I just tell everybody, just like go see this band. I mean, they're like, if you can't get into it, I mean, they're so high energy. Like, I mean,
it's
that's the kind
like
of
Motorhead
show that I want to see. And if it's just like you could have 3 people in there, and they're going to give you the same show as if there was 300. And their latest member, the guitar player, I'm sorry, the name skips my mind, but he's just awesome. I mean, he just was the catalyst that sealed that band. And I just I don't know. I just try and help them along. Toss a lot of shows their way when we can't do it, and just get people out there to see them, because I just it's hard to find a band that's high energy like that. I mean, it's like Misfits meets Motorhead meets like Joe Cocker or something,
Oh, man.
I don't know where the
interesting twist
comes in, unless it's the way he moves around. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't sing like Joe Cocker, but
I also feel like maybe a little Clutch is like a heavier side of Clutch, like a Motorhead Clutch kind of thing.
Right.
I agree with everything you said, Kip. Really, really super high energy. And Albatross Overdrive was around for a number of years, and certainly some folks have been following Stoner Rock and so on over the last decade, probably know who that is. And actually, they did continue for 2 albums after he left, and good stuff as well. But I guess now they're done, Kip says.
Rodney left the band maybe a couple years ago, and I think they just kind of lost it after that, So like one member leaving, and there's one thing. You get 2 people leaving, that's another thing. It's harder to recover after each subsequent one.
And then of course you got one of the biggest drummers in the history of stoner rock and desert rock playing in the last band. You got Alfredo Hernandez and Whiskey and Knives. So for folks that don't know who Alfredo Hernandez is, he was the second drummer for Caius. So he played there the last album or 2 because Brandt bolted. And then Josh brought Alfredo with him, the Queens of the Stone Age. So the first album or 2 of Queens of the Stone Age, Alfredo was on as well. And they are another high octane, rev it up, some whiskey drinking kind of motherfucking shit right there. Whiskey drinking, chopping up some blow kind of band. Wow, that is something else.
Yeah, it's another great band. Whiskey and Knives is a great band, and Alfredo's like one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. We did a show with one of his other bands. I think it was in LA one time when we were Ride the Sun, and it's just funny stories. It was cool to run into him at a show down here a couple of years ago, and they're going to be opening up the show, so I suggest everyone get there early and check it out.
Yeah, Alfredo's a super cool cat. You'll see him on stage. He'll have big headphones on, covering his ears. Covering his ears. He played in a band. He's also in a band called Avon that is playing at Ripplefest, Texas, and
Correct.
they actually played either my second or third show I ever did for Vegas Rock Revolution. Avon was part of that, and so I've gotten to know Alfredo some over the years, and really nice guy. Yeah, super nice guy for sure.
Super cool.
Nice, yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, what a lineup that is for sure. Let's change the subject for a minute. What would you say, guys, was your favorite show that you've done so far?
Live show, I'm assuming you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I'd say the Counts Vamp stuff is killer. Love that.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree. I think we've done it 3 times, and
they treat you really well.
They treat you really well. You got
really
sound
awesome
in front,
usually.
sound in back, bar tab. I mean, great sound. I mean, you just can't beat
That
it.
sounds so good.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat. You guys have played some rough spots on these different tours. Woo! What's the fewest people you played in front of at some of those fucking shows?
Probably like 5.
Let's hear.
On that last tour to Texas, it was.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think Nashville was the worst show we ever played. Like, we played well, but
it's true.
we played really well because we were so angry.
You thought with the hype going on behind that show by some
right
that maybe it was going to be a better crowd. I remember hearing about it, and
there were like maybe like 10 people in the building. They weren't necessarily watching the show. And
jeez.
we were, but we still rock out. We didn't give a fuck. We're just still gonna.
They give you a 12-pack or what?
What?
They give you a 12-pack?
They didn't give us anything.
Nothing.
They were still asking for COVID cards.
We didn't get free beer. We didn't get paid. We got nothing. So yeah,
wow.
And no audience.
Thank God we had those dummied up.
But we were in the middle of like our second song. These 2 drunk chicks ran in and started like going wild in the front row. Kind of saved the whole show, and they saved the whole set.
That's true.
So.
That's
at
least makes it a little bit. Where were some of those stops in the tour out in Texas? Where were some of those stops that were just low? It's good nothing wrong with calling out cities. Hopefully, they got to figure it out.
I think Houston was least attended because it was on St. Patrick's Day, which I thought was going to work in our favor, but apparently people don't want to go to Stoner Rock shows on St. Patty's Day. I don't know why.
Yeah. Where was that at? Like the Black Magic something
Black
or other?
Magic Social
Yes.
Club. And
Black
we had
Magic Social Club. Yeah, that's where
we had a lot of great friends come out from San Antonio and Houston to come see us, but I did think it was going to be it would go off a little bit more, and what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's an interesting market down there. We'll say.
Houston,
Houston. That
Houston's
venue has done better. I think that was a pretty early on show for that venue as well. So they've come along a little bit better, I've heard. Now I'll tell you, you really, first off, you guys have kicked ass every one of my shows over here in Vegas. But what a great performance you had at Ripplefest last year. Whoa.
Fun.
And you got the big stage too.
How
about that?
There's a definitely
That
a big
was awesome.
stage. Yeah.
Like big motherfucking stage, man. Middle of the day, but yeah.
Middle of the
still,
day.
yeah.
The heat. Definitely, we had some equipment failures due to heat, though. So
Yeah.
one of the things.
So,
It was so
Yeah.
hot, the bass amp cut out. But
oh shit.
Yeah.
something-
Thank God it was at the
Oh
end of the
no,
set,
I think
because
I remember that.
Yeah.
it never came back on. We were like the
Oh.
guinea pigs for that stage that day. We were the first band on there.
yeah.
And, you know, when the amp went out, it was just like, I tried to get it back on and I couldn't. And so I just kind of had to like,
Right.
you know,
I think
karaoke it on my bass.
Chris Rasley said the DI was working though, so you were still going through the main PA.
That's good.
But
Yeah.
Ryan Garney treats the band so well.
Yeah.
We got lunch every day. We got free beer every day.
Nice. Wow.
I mean, you couldn't ask
Absolutely.
for more from a 4-day festival. You know, we're just hanging
Yeah.
out and getting free food and stuff. It's that you can't beat
It
that.
is.
So
It is. It's
Yeah.
great.
he really makes it an environment for the musicians, and it's a special thing for sure. So it was
Totally.
it was
it was
an
so
honor to be
good.
there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he lost a shit ton of money, but it was so good.
Right.
And that's the tricky part to all that stuff is you got to have the revenue coming in, more
Sure.
people going. We hope this year's actually, you know, I think ticket sales have been pretty good, and they started the 1-day tickets
Right.
coming up here. So hopefully,
Well, as we said earlier, you and I will be there. So
yeah. How about that? Hell
got my
yeah,
ticket.
that's good to hear you be there. Kip, you're not going to come?
you're on the
At
spot.
this point, I don't think so, but you know, you
Yeah,
never
Mark,
know.
about it.
Might be a last minute thing. You might see me show up.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, we certainly won't miss you. You're like,
But as
fucking
that right
6'8".
now, I don't have plans to. No.
Okay, so
Let's.
you got a
Yeah.
question for him, Matt? I'm sorry.
I do. Yeah. Well, I want to talk some San Diego rock scene here. You know, I was last year when I was interviewing Nacho from Mesua. You know, I was telling I lived in San Diego from '98 to 2002, and you know, I'm still going there a lot when I lived in LA and everything. But you know, I remember, you know, when I was there, the rock scene really is the heavy rock scene. It wasn't like it is now. I mean, back then it was like you had, you know, it was more of the punk oriented bands, Rocket from the Crypts. You know, obviously you had your reggae, you know, rock bands like Slightly Stupid and Sprung Monkey, and then you had the, you know, alternative rock bands or noise rock bands like Drive Like Jehu and Hot Snakes. Yeah, but there wasn't really like the heavy psychs or the heavy rock scene that you have now. I mean, I first noticed it getting big when obviously I discovered Earthless, and then I, you know, Sacramonte, Harsh Toke, you know, Radio Moscow, you know, just started booming. In your guys' opinion, I mean, when did you sense that things were like really burgeoning down there in San Diego with the scene? I mean, obviously you guys have been, you know, involved playing music for bands for quite a while down there. When did really, in your opinion, did it really take off? Because like to me, like I said, I probably would have never left there if it would have, you know, because I was working in the music business and I was starting a record label. That's why I went to LA, because there wasn't much going on down here. So when did it really kind of start burgeoning, in your guys' opinion, when it started really taking off?
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe.
Like 2010, 2012, somewhere.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that. But I think Earthless, you know, they just carry the torch. I mean, you know,
I just
those
saw them a
guys-
couple weeks ago, actually. Yeah.
Nice.
yeah.
Still
And
playing, yeah.
Yeah.
we used to have a rehearsal facility in the same complex with those guys. And when they would go in there and rehearse, you would think that, like, you would go like, oh, what goddamn band left their door open? And you go down the hall. This place had like 40 rooms. You go down the hall like a maze and find the room, and it's Earthless. And I mean, it was so goddamn loud. I was just like, we would stand outside the room and just fucking like, yeah. It was insane. It was incredible. I'm like, okay, this is just awesome.
I mean,
I think there's a lot of great bands that come from here, but they don't necessarily play locally a lot.
Oh,
Like you mentioned a lot of names, but I don't really see them playing in San Diego very much. You know, it seems like they tend to leave town to play. So
interesting. Okay.
I don't
you know,
know.
like, like Radio Moscow.
Yeah.
They migrated there originally from Iowa. Parker is Radio Moscow. That's for people that don't know. A lot of times they're like, "Oh, the band broke up." No, Partner just put it over there, and now he's doing El Perro. But he's the one consistent. He's the guy. He's the man. And having Isaiah and Parker literally in the same area. I mean, that's literally two of the best guitarists on the planet at one time, and that was super cool. And then obviously. Some other stuff has happened over there that I like a lot of their psychedelic stuff. There's a group of musicians, and you kind of see them intermingling with each other, between like Sacramani and Monarch, which just got done doing their first European tour, did that with Earthless. And I had them over and Sacramani over for Vegas Rock Revolution shows. Very, very good, high quality, heavy psychedelic. A bunch of other what was that band with the skateboarder? Even that was even kind of popular, and it had a girl singing. Really famous skateboarder, and it had different members of these same bands along the way. And there was even the band Birth, which is a progressive heavy psych band that again has some of the same guys. It has a great sound to it as well. I mean, it feels like there's a little bit of probably clickiness with
there's commingling for sure.
And some clickiness, of this and that within the psych world. A band that I like out of there also is called Drug Hunt. They were called something else, but a rapper said they were going to sue them because it was like Bad Vibes or something. And they're like, I don't think anyone's going to confuse us, but so they're like, no, fuck you, man. You got to change it. All right. And so I remember the singer or the guitarist says like, when we went from Bad Vibes or whatever, and then we renamed it something to make a mom proud, Drug Hunt. And it's like, why did you come up with it? That is weird. But it is, you have some good venues there. I mean, Casbah, super cool venue. Brick by Brick is an institution stop as far as so many of our shows are there, particularly the heavy rock, stoner, and metal. Definitely some metal coming out of there.
A lot of metal at Brick by Brick.
A lot of metal. Oh, yeah. And it's a good sized venue as well. So, it's interesting, and there's a few other venues. You probably still need a few more. I know you had one venue down there that wouldn't let you guys play. Damn COVID restrictions.
Oh, yeah. The soda bar. Yeah.
You're supposed to play with Sasquatch.
You're supposed to play with Sasquatch. Yeah.
We're not allowed in.
Yeah.
Listen.
And High Desert Queen.
I wonder if they're still requiring Vax cards at the.
Well, COVID's back, so I'm sure you're still
right.
Very quickly, you can go back in action with that. But anyways, that's for a whole nother, something.
Is Soma still open down there?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
it is. Oh, it is. Okay, nice.
That's a cool venue too.
Forever,
I saw a metal show there. It's pretty awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first place I went to when I was living there. Yeah, it was Soma back in the day. Fear Factory, I think it was. So
Fear Factory, cool.
Yeah.
I think it
what
was
part of town's that in?
Amon Amarth and Calvary Decapitation. I just saw there.
Nice. Very cool. Oh yeah.
He was also a local band as
well. Band, yeah.
Calvary.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Well, yeah, there's a big like that kind of extreme metal stuff is big down there.
Oh,
there's a bunch of bands.
Big,
It's huge. Yeah.
It's a bigger scene for extreme metal for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
there's a band called Quor down there, Quor. I think they're from there, Orange County. I don't know. Tell me, Kip, if you can rack your brain from 1,000,000 years ago, what were your favorite few bands your senior year of high school? Oh, Kip's going to disappear on us there.
Just as you asked.
All right, Dan, you take the question until Kip figures out his shit.
From high school?
Senior year.
Oh, boy. My senior year was a lot newer than yours.
That's not a competition, but all right.
Sure it is.
Yeah, I'm younger than Kip, so, let's
do.
I'm not the oldest.
Senior year. Wow. What year? That was 2003.
Okay.
Sorry, my phone was out. What was the question?
What were you listening to?
I was listening to like Slayer and Pantera, I guess. That would probably
Okay.
be what I would say, as my
You were,
main
you were
digs.
into metal back
Oh,
then, heavily, right?
Yeah.
Who turned you on to metal?
My best friend in high school, Will. I wasn't allowed to listen to rock and roll when I was a kid. I was raised religiously, so I was not allowed to listen to secular music. So I had someone introduce me to like heavy music in junior high school era.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Okay,
Isn't it?
What I was expecting.
I think Ozzy and Randy Rhoads was the first band I heard that was like actual metal or like a heavy kind of band. But yeah.
Kip.
Yes. Answer the same question.
Yeah.
At what period of time are you talking about?
Senior year. Just give us some bands you were really digging.
Well,
your
you gotta
senior year.
understand, I'm a lot older than Dan, so
We already know that. And so am I, apparently.
We've already compared graduation
There
dates.
you go. Yeah.
let me get my walker. For me in high school, it was all, classic rock was not classic rock. It was the rock. So
Yeah.
for me, I was listening to all the great bands like, Deep Purple, Rainbow, Scorpions, Judas Priest, all the classics and a whole bunch of others like, the smaller bands like, Riot. And I mean,
Nice.
there were so many bands, and there was actually a really good local metal scene. And so, Rat came out from this town. Robin Crosby was older than I was. Warren was younger than I was. And but I know Warren better than I did Robin. But there was just so many. The high school dances were all like killer metal covers. I mean, of all those bands. I mean, it was like, I don't know. I think of what's going on now in high school, and I didn't even think they have high school dances anymore. But anyway, it was awesome.
Yeah.
What
What about Warrior? You got that band Warrior was from San Diego too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
right?
were, yeah.
Good band.
What year did you
Tommy
graduate?
Asakawa? There was.
Most of those bands were moved up to LA though. That was the thing, right? A lot of them just
Yes.
moved up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it made sense back then, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate, Kip?
80.
Good God, you are old.
Still playing
Wow.
SBT though.
You were
Nice.
listening to like a whole different Scorpions. You're listening to
Uli, yeah.
Yeah. I tried out for Uli. He said get lost.
And he still likes to rock.
Nice.
And Kip, how did you get into the harder side of rock and roll? Like, who turned you on to it?
Well, actually, let's see. I just, I took some, I got married at one time and, had the kid thing and all that. And then that I got a divorce and, started like thinking about playing music again, all that, blah, blah, blah. And, so I just started buying gear again. And, I just really, back in those days, it was, what was it? I don't know if it was, we had Craigslist or, it was a Reader, the San Diego Reader. It was a newspaper.
Nice.
And you just go on there and find people that like wanted to jam and stuff. And I ended up meeting this guy, Tony, who was one of the original members of Formula 400. And so we just started playing together, and he introduced me to the drop tuning. And I just remember when he showed me, I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, this is this is the shit. This sounds way heavier, you know?
Yeah.
And then I remember being a subscriber to the early Sirius days or what? Sirius days.
I was too. Yeah.
And
I found
they
a couple
had
of bands on there.
Thursday afternoon with Bobby Black, and it was like a 1 hour stoner rock show called Contact High. And I found out about that, and I just whoa, this is where I need to go, and this is where I need to be. And that's how I started getting into all those bands. They had all those bands playing on that stupid 1 hour show that they finally just like canned. And but I could record them at the time, so it was cool because I could keep them and go, oh, what was that band's name, and go look them up. And so that's how it kind of it all started for me. And for people like my age, to me, it's like if you grew up in the era I did, it's a very easy way to go. I mean, it's just you're just playing like you're hard rock in a lower key, and I don't know. I'm surprised that other musicians just don't. It's like, what's that guy doing? I don't know. It doesn't do anything anymore. Like, why not just start going through all this new great music that's out? It's like, and you guys bring it up, and John puts it out there all the time, and I mean, I'm just blown away how much there is.
Oh, yeah.
There's a ton of it.
Yeah, it's a ton.
And we have a lot of access to it now, versus when we were younger. Obviously we relied a lot on radio, and then people trading tapes and all that, and we didn't have near as many foreign bands as nowadays. I mean, I did a show, a Rock is Dead Gislet show. It was 13 bands, 13 countries, and I could do another show with 13 more countries easily. Like I mean, I didn't even touch South America. I mean, and there's a lot of good stuff coming out of there as well. Heavy rock's a world thing, and
it is.
More people understand it. Unite against mainstream. What's been chosen by the same fucking people. It's the same people owning the labels, the same people running the management companies, same people running the distribution as an FM. It's why people don't know there's good music, Yeah. And then you get like Greta Van Fleet pops on the scene. And of course, a lot of older people, our age, I guess, are like, oh God, and then they don't even tell us. They're like, oh, we never even heard of Led Zeppelin. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, give me a break.
Is that what they said? Wow, I didn't even know that.
Oh, no, they're like, oh, no, Led Zeppelin, no. We're really into jazz, And nowadays it's this. Everyone wants to do this.
Denouncing their number one influence. Wow.
Right, exactly.
No, Zeppelin. Zeppelin's not even ever mentioned.
I think they said that Aerosmith was their big influence.
Right.
It was all like, what?
He sounds exactly like Steven Tyler, right?
Yeah.
So you get that thing, but meanwhile, you got a band like Rival Sons out there that literally it has songs, like they've written great rock songs, and they have great players, and yet I saw them at House of Blues, 600 tickets sold, I think. The next day, Greta Van Fleet played, and because they're 20-something years old,
my brothers,
dare I say flamboyant?
Yeah,
probably the right word.
They are. That is the right word.
Yeah,
now appropriate with everything going on. They have been able to, because of their age, get more popular quicker. Even though I don't see it, I just don't see the songs being near the level that these guys do. And
his voice gets a little
annoying
whirly after a while. You're like, can
does.
you take it down a note or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, he's always got a little Geddy Lee at times, kind of thing. He's like, there's a little bit of Geddy Lee.
It's kind of one track. Yeah, he doesn't mix it up much. And exactly.
Right. Yeah. Robert Plant had multiple levels. He could hit low notes too.
I mean, I'm really happy that at least it's a rock and roll band that 20-somethings at least pay attention to, because they don't even know that there's rock and roll. Like, they
well,
won't
are
listen to
they?
Led Zeppelin or Sabbath or anyone else.
I feel like it's a bunch
Because-
of older people.
Older
listening
people,
to it,
exactly,
trying to
yeah.
It's both.
recapture the Zeppelin
But
era,
you're right. Of
But,
course, there's more.
Yeah.
You know, and we're getting added, so they're getting on the radio.
They probably are introducing some younger generation to rock and roll. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, there are some
Of
for
course.
sure. But yeah, of course, the Generation X is really fueling the whole scene, other than the pop part, and even the pop part. You know, with Octane and all that shit, it's still a lot of 40-something-year-olds listening to that because most these 20-somethings, they barely know what rock and roll is.
Oh, that's it.
And they're way more, you know, hip hop is just 24/7 in their
That's
face.
what's being crammed down their fucking throat.
24/7.
Yep.
Any single thing. Everything is hip hop. Everything. Commercial.
Well,
TV,
and then
movie.
they're not picking up instruments anymore. The kids too. You know,
Yeah.
they're not playing them. It's easy to get to the DJ stand and just spin a record. And
That takes way too
You
much
know?
dedication and
Exactly.
time. You know?
Yep.
I mean,
mhm.
yeah,
But
you're
that's a
gonna-
beautiful
you're gonna
art.
be terrible when you pick up that guitar, but it's going to take you like 10 fucking years to get it. But you know,
Exactly. And they don't have the patience.
nobody
Yeah,
has the patience
exactly.
for anything. You know,
And the patience for four people being in a room and
Yeah.
creating
Well,
something.
that's
together,
another thing too. Yeah.
and doing it in harmony. I mean, that's for me that's my beautiful art. Like, some people like looking at fucking abstract paintings and all that, and I'll do that if I'm on mushrooms. That's fine. But and some people, you know, like poems or whatever. I'm never going to do that. And other kind of artistic stuff. But for me, live music, there's an art to it when done in harmony, all as one, and respect. I'm not musically inclined, so I'm really, you know, infatuated with that whole process, and such respect for you guys. Dan, you know, congratulations that you write great songs and you do great shit, man. So it really hats off to you. You know,
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
yeah, for sure. I think we lost Kip
I think we
as
lost
he
Kip.
continues his journey.
He's a Stardust traveling man.
Matt, what do you got for these, Dan? Come
Well,
on.
no, well, of course, yeah, no. I mean, I've got, you know, I've like I said, I've got a bunch of these. You know, I love talking about, you know, the San Diego's thing. You know, like San Diego reminds me of one of those cities, kind of like San Antonio. Like you said, we were just talking to Bishop from Thunder Horse, and because I think of the geographic location too of San Diego, it's, and maybe this is what you were kind of talking about, how bands, you know, don't really play locally, but it's hard to get it, you know, unless you're like in your 20s, early 30s. You know, you're not going to jump in a van anymore and do a 5 to 6 city tour. You can't really do that around San Diego, right? I mean, you've got, sure, LA, you've got Orange County, but really that's it. I mean, everything else is pretty far. It's at least 5 or 6 hours away, I would think, right? Vegas and
To Arizona.
Arizona and everything. Yes, so you're
Not
kind of,
bad.
you know,
Long
it's
Beach.
that, but
Orange
5, 6
County.
Unless you're going north, unless you're traveling up to San Francisco or Reno, you know, I don't know, somewhere up there, I suppose. But
yeah,
Ugh.
it's just tough, you know, just the
It's-
location. It's hard to break out and, you know, to really. So, I mean, yeah, I guess that's like obviously the same for you guys. I mean, it's, you're not, like I said, you're not in your young 20s and you got to hop in a van and just go cross country anymore. You know, it's like,
No, they
you know,
did it.
you got to do
did.
that. Well, yeah, well, it's,
But,
that's, but it's hard to do that consistently. Let's put it
It
that
is,
way.
yeah, it
Yeah.
I mean, especially as a you know, a self-financed band, we don't have anyone backing us or giving us anything or
Mhm.
you know, promoting us really as far as that stuff's concerned. So
Mhm.
it's all out of pocket at that point,
Yeah.
which is
Now,
tough to keep up. I got a day job, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, and I know, like, you know, I know back in the day. I mean, I remember even like TJ had a cool little scene back in the day. He had iguanas, and you could play down there. I mean, is that? I mean, I know it's not really as like it used to be down there. I mean, is there anything even around there you guys
You know,
hit up?
I don't know specific venues, but the band 16 did just do a tour through Mexico.
Oh wow!
And I think it was through the TJ side. So I'd like more information on that actually because I'm not sure.
Yeah, because they got a good little scene out there. Me and John just put one of the bands, the Fire Mystical, on his Rock Is Dead show, and that's a cool, you know, heavy
That's a
stoner rock
Tijuana
band.
band, Kip.
Yeah, it's TJ band.
That would be an interesting one to bring up. Let's wait till you hear it. You'll
There
like
was
it,
also the band that played before us at Stoner Jam was from Tijuana as well in Texas.
Oh.
No, maybe it wasn't TJ. It was the Texas side of not
Okay.
Juarez,
Yeah.
like that, but just
Yeah,
somewhere
it
around
was.
Who was it?
Yep.
Uh,
there.
Oh boy.
Moon something, or I can't. I could look it up. I can't remember at
Okay.
the moment.
Oh, down in Texas.
They were the first band that played Stoner Jam. They opened up the day.
Oh.
Yeah, on the yellow stage.
I wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'd have to look it up.
There's actually some really good shit coming out of
Stuff,
Mexico
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Electric Mountain, unbelievably good stoner rock. Just great. There's a bunch of stuff actually, but that Fire Mystical band, I'm impressed. I went and listened to it again today, and I even sent it over to Matt. I'm like, Matt, did you listen to the show? Yeah. The one band I like was Fire Mystical. I'm like, good. I would listen to it right now. It really is good, heavy drive.
Yeah.
Like that first song, Evil Morphus, really good, heavy riff. It's a pretty consistent riff, almost the Owls and Chains tone to it. But man, they're probably a band. Yeah, it's always interesting to collaborate with bands like that. You're pretty close to Tijuana, so you never know.
Right? Yeah, that's
Get
true.
them up there, and you go down there and
To
just
try it.
hold on to your wallet in Tijuana.
yeah.
Watch it drink.
So I mean, you guys have you started writing any new songs, for anything? I mean, obviously I know you just put out the new album, but have you started to kind of come up with any ideas? You just mostly focusing on playing shows right now and doing live stuff instead, at least until your new guitarist, right, gets kind of, I guess, acclimated to the band.
Right. No, we've definitely got new songs in the works. I'd say there's probably 4 or 5, couple that are almost done, and then pieces of other ones. I'm kind of waiting for Alex to get on board with the other few songs he hasn't learned yet, and kind of get familiar with the catalog.
Okay.
But I don't want to throw too much at him at one time.
Sure. Yeah.
It'd be overwhelming.
Right.
Same kind of the heaviness part. You still going to keep coming with the heavy, or
I think so. I think we'll keep pushing towards it. And it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to hear what he has to put into it too, because I think he's a little more riff minded like I am.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to hear the difference when he's adding his own element to it as well, because it won't be the Southern rock thing like we talked about earlier. It'll be more. I'm not sure what it'll be, but he's he's already brought some riffs to the table too. So
very cool. Nice.
I'm excited for it. And we also technically tracked Divination twice. So we've had that one in the works for quite some time now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We had a drummer quit on us after we had the whole album tracked. So we had to redo the whole album about a year ago.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's been a rough road.
And now they got a pound. And Matt, their new drummer is a pounder.
Well, yeah.
Oh my god!
You can tell.
I mean, you'll see him live. You'll see what this beast does.
Yeah, how tall are you, Kip? 6'5"?
6'6".
6'6". Luz, how tall?
He's probably 6'5".
6'5".
Oh wow!
You're in a big rhythm section, yeah.
That's pretty damn big.
We get a few pounds on me though.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
How tall is Alex? How tall is he a big guy?
No, he's short like
okay.
me. I'm like 5'9", 5'10". He's around there.
So it balances out. There we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're 5'10".
So right now we're focusing on live shows, getting that all squared away. But I'm really eager to start getting new material together. Because like I said, we've been playing these songs for a minute now, even though it hasn't been released. In between us, we've been playing these songs for a while now. So
right, you played a number of the songs at Planet Desert Rock when you played.
Yes, we did.
You played at least a few songs.
Yes, we did.
New ones along the way.
We probably did about 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
How long? What's your goal as far as set time? How long you aiming to do your set for with the new guy in the mix and everything else?
We usually shoot for 45 minutes or so, unless we're allotted more.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We're rarely given more than that, I think.
That's true.
How much are they getting with Unita, John? You can tell us that, right?
Say what?
A set time?
Yeah.
It's only a 3-band thing, so
Probably at least an hour, right? I mean,
there you go.
It
Nice.
could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We'll have to talk offline and figure it out what you're capable of. Yeah, because it's just 3 bands, and I start my shows early. And I kind of expect Unita to play a good size set. What's funny is some of Unita's best songs are like 9 minutes, 10 minutes long.
right.
And so they've avoided it, but man, those are good songs.
Maybe it's time to put one of those out. Yeah.
Yeah, and every once in a while, like Mark will mention to me, like, oh, maybe we'll even play a new song. And I cringe. I'm like, oh, because I'm a set list. Like, I focus on it. I'm like, if you play that, then you're not going to play something else. And that's where I am with Sasquatch. Like, Sasquatch, they're going to come down for Planet Desert Rock again. And I almost want to mention to them, all right, I want you to do a greatest hits.
Right.
I you know what I mean? I just want the 5 albums, and nothing wrong with the other 2. I love them. And I don't want anything new that's never been released. And that's like, they love doing that shit. And I'm like, come on. So before the show, sometimes at Psycho Vegas, I was hanging out with them before the show. I go, listen, man, you gonna play at the Judge? Well, I don't know. We weren't planning on it. Come on, that's the song, man. It's one of your best ever. Like, I don't even try to do try to get to play The Message or all these other great hooky songs,
Right.
But I almost want to hit them up. All right, guys, can since it's a one-off, you got to practice either way. Can I give you a couple songs?
They need like a tablet on stage putting in requests or something.
No, one person making requests. That's me.
John, you can tell you're not a musician, John.
Well, he played the Judge. They played the Judge at Psycho, and the crowd was on fire more for that song than anything else. I videoed it. It was insane.
How many albums do they have though? Like 10 at least, right?
No.
7 or 8?
6 or 7.
6 or 7.
I remember they had 1 through 4, right, Kip? I don't think they ever had Sasquatch 5, and they've had 2 albums since. They did, unlike you guys, they had that shit recorded in 2020, and
they didn't release it. Yeah,
they just sat. And I'm like, you're gonna write more stuff? I can't believe we can't tour, can't sell it. I'm like, I don't know, geez, but everyone has their own business strategy. But hell, who knows how many songs Keith has written? It's not like Keith has a job. So he's he's a songwriting machine.
He is.
Guy.
Yeah.
I mean, most underrated writer there is. I mean, people just don't get how good he is, and he's a guitarist as well. That pretty much fucking good. So
he's a very good player.
Yeah. What would be your favorite? What would be your dream tour, guys? Your dream tour, a band that you could match up with, big or small?
Oh boy,
Kip's back on his journey again. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, my phone keeps going in and out.
That's so good.
Who would you like to tour with, Kip?
What would be your dream tour?
Well, oh my gosh. I would love to tour with COC.
I knew it.
There you go.
Nice.
Why the fuck wouldn't you?
That'd be awesome.
So good.
Yeah, or maybe Down.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I get to do a cover either way.
How about BLS?
BLS. There you go.
Great matchup.
Aiming high.
Small band.
Dream and dream.
Yeah, dream.
I think those are great.
Tell him about that band that just opened up for Pantera.
Oh yeah. So I saw Pantera and Lamb of God in San Diego last weekend, and there was a band called Spirit in the Room that opened up for them. Unsigned. They don't have a webpage. They only have like 8,000 followers on Facebook. I was blown away. I'm like, how'd they get this spot? It's crazy.
Right. Well,
that's insane.
Wow.
There's lots of ways.
No, yeah, the management probably something, but I mean,
Pay to play.
like,
money.
Yeah, exactly.
or yeah, money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking some of the like Unita and Sasquatch, they have like 30,000 plus followers, and it's like, it's just, I guess,
Not in the
money goes a
loop,
long way.
man.
Yeah.
It's so political.
Yeah.
I did like 4 days of research on the labels where I literally with all their pages took notes on what was rock that they still had and and everything else. And I found out that like Atlantic's not even a label anymore. It's a subsidiary. We're down to 3 big labels. Like
Of course.
when Kip and I Kip, I shouldn't put myself with you in age-wise now that I graduated 87, so I'm 7 years younger, guys. But I mean, growing up in the 70s and 80s, we'll put it that way, and even 90s, there were a lot of labels, and that helps promote creativity and opportunity versus the few control the many is a model that it doesn't matter what you apply it to, it's not good. And that's what we're in. And that's, but we have a community, I would say, within all this. And we look at our successful cousins, the Corrosion Conformities and Black Labels and Monster Magnet and hell, even Rival Sons, they all come from what I see as a family tree. And, they're clean up and I'm like, hell, COC used to be a freaking metal thrash band. And played at my college. I didn't realize it, or I wouldn't pay any attention, I guess. But they were a North Carolina band. I went to East Carolina, just an hour and 10 minutes from where they lived, and they evolved. And once Pepper got involved, I mean, Carl's album was very good. Blind is obviously a metal classic. But they completely changed, once Pepper got involved, and it's not like they became pussies. They just had more hooks and stuff like that got things going, and there's a lot of good music out there. And what I'm seeing right now is on the heavy psych side of things is really, I'm seeing these bands galvanizing together for shows a lot. King Buffalo, Elder, All Them Witches, Resin is getting in the mix more and more. And they've all kind of elevated themselves up, with playing and then putting together really good shit along the way. And so it's just interesting to watch along the way, but not easy. It's really tough for bands right now.
Well, there's no
break into that role as well, because like you said, there are elevated bands within each scene. And there's a hierarchy that follows that, and it's hard to break into those shows as well. So once again, you're facing all these big obstacles, no matter where you're at.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a band I thought would have got elevated above where they were was Void Vader, and we all could agree what a great band. Eric had been around for a while, and he certainly got most of us into them, and and they've kind of Eric, unfortunately, not there anymore. And they have the makings of still a lot of potential abilities, and they blew up during COVID as well.
Right.
I remember running ads and helping them out, and people were blown. And they did videos that were COVID centric too, that were kind of like rebellious, and people fucking ate it up. It was crazy. But they've now not self imploded, but
I thought maybe they were recording an album or something, because I haven't seen anything from them lately.
I don't feel there's any. I mean, we'll see Sam. Because Sam's in like 8 bands.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Sam's in War Cloud, and we'll see them down.
War Cloud and Haunt.
Yeah, but he'll be down at Ripple Fest.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because
everywhere.
War Cloud's playing
at the same time.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he's playing with my buddy Trevor up with Haunt. So it's a tough one. There's and Haunt's a band that has really elevated. I mean, a lot. Right. I mean, they got on some big shows. They got on with that Cattle Decapitation, whatever the fuck band that was, and Municipal Waste and shit. Like what? I'm like,
it's a good band. It's a good band, man.
That's just like back, you know, and you know, like you're like,
I like municipal waste.
Eric also
like fucking docking or something. You know what's going on here?
Eric also just toured with Fear Factory and
Society One,
and Static X,
Yeah,
So
played in front of thousands.
I guess he's come up in the world.
Well, No, I was so happy for him. When I saw the crowds and stuff because
awesome.
Boy Vader's been
really good to see.
on a similar journey
to
you guys with some shows that were you know lucky to get a couple handfuls at. So for folks listening,
we were considering Haunt for SoCal Heavy Jam. So
it was
it was they were in the
in the finals
in the pool.
Yeah, they were in the, you know, it's, you know how it goes. You get a group of bands and you wait to get confirmations and you say you have to talk to everybody. But so they were right up there. So
really good live band.
Yeah.
Really good live band.
Really live
Trevor's a great performer, a great writer. You know, for folks that don't know, Trevor from Haunt, his dad was Electric Bill Church from Montrose and Sammy Hagar, early Sammy Hagar, which Standing Hampton.
Wow.
Go listen to that. If you haven't heard that before, if you think Sammy Hagar, I Can't Drive 55, go listen to Standing Hampton. You'll hear Sammy was a little more rocking, you know. That one. Heavy metal.
Rocker,
Heavy metal. Ooh.
That's awesome.
Not the one from the movie Heavy Metal, his version of Heavy Metal. Very good. Yeah. Fun stuff.
Wow.
Matt,
all right.
Matt, you look like you got another question. I don't know. I can't tell.
Well, we got an hour and a half of questions, man. I mean, I'm kind of running out. I'm just, you know, I'm just excited to see you guys. Obviously, at the end of less than a month now, down at the SoCal Heavy Jam. It's going to be a great time, and you know, like I said, I didn't go last year, but I did see it online. I was like, well, I definitely got to go next year. So you guys are definitely got something, I think, going on down there that's just going to continue to keep, you know, catching on to people and rock fans. And, you know, I encourage everyone who's listening to this, if they're in the area or they're, you know, hey, like you said, San Diego is an unbelievable destination. We're going to have a vacation, take a weekend, go check out the SoCal Heavy Jam. You know, it's great bands. I mean, great lineup. And I just can't wait for that. So, you know, looking forward to it. Looking forward to see you guys live. I was gonna hit up the Vegas one, but it's I'd rather go to San Diego than Vegas. No,
there you
offense, There you go.
Oh, you'll be going to Santee.
Well, they used to call it Santucky. I don't know if they still call it that. But...
It's a very patriotic town, I hear. I mean, you'll be a little bit of ways. Kip, make sure I get a ride over there with you again. For that, last time I Ubered over to you. I stay at the beach. I'm not fucking staying at Santee. I don't even remember how I got home. Do you drive me? Get home, man. I'll figure that one out.
Me either.
But folks that are out there watching the show, support good bands. Go buy yourself to shows. Don't worry about it. Don't get wasted. Okay.
No, get wasted. Get wasted.
Don't get wasted because,
that's all part. Come on.
You won't make friends as easily, probably. But meet people because you have something in common with them at the show. So, and you don't have to talk to anyone at all. Just go listen to music. So it's your call. But if you're lonely and you're not doing things and you're in self-loathing as you sit at home playing video games or watching fucking recycled news over and over, which is doing nothing but destroying our minds, or you're whatever it is, you can get away from the porn for a while. There's live music that's good for you, and you'll feel inspiration. And it's a whole different world that you could enter by going to shows. So support bands like this. If you're in San Diego or SoCal, come on now, put shoes on now and go on down to SoCal Heavy Jam. And what day is that, Kip? Give us the date again.
It's September the 30th.
Saturday,
September the 30th.
Saturday. Yes.
There it is. At the Full
starts
Circle
at,
Saloon.
3 o'clock and goes, beyond midnight. We released the set times, but quite frankly, those are just estimates. Usually this thing will go a little bit later, which is fine. So,
Right.
Awesome.
yeah. So
Yeah, and there's seating. There's high tops and things like that. So it's not like you're standing the
There's
whole
plenty
time.
of parking, lots of parking.
Yep.
There's a taco shop next door. There's plenty
Yeah.
of food. There's hotels down the street. It's
Yep.
there's a lot of
Nice.
things in that little area. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the little-
hotels for cheap.
Yep.
Too.
Yep.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. There's it just in that complex, you've got a smoke shop, a liquor store, a taco shop, a Jack in the Box, a pizza parlor, and a gun shop, but it'll probably be closed.
Nice.
So.
No dispensary though, huh?
Is that a smoke show? Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
I call it a smoke shop. I don't think it's a dispensary, but
I know, but they need one. And fuck, it's California. Anyways,
We got them everywhere.
Got the
Yeah.
census. That's what's
and hey, folks, if you can't make that, there'll be Friday night, October 6th in Las Vegas with UNITA as part of the Vegas Rock Revolution Presents. And
Yes,
if
sir.
you get all crazy and stay inside, that's your weekend, stay in Vegas. You stay Monday night, you got 1,000 Mods playing along with The Well, which are two
Hell yeah.
very,
Nice.
very good bands. And the
Yeah,
band
I might do that.
Sonolith. And Sonolith is opening
Yeah,
up
yeah.
that one, Kip. Our buddy Sonolith, which also played Planet
Yeah.
As Rock with y'all. So, all right. Well,
Awesome.
thank you
Fantastic.
guys so much for joining. I know it was, a challenge to disrupt Kip's very busy, vigorous life and his journey with
the journey.
phones and computers. Because he graduated in 80, so we have to take it easy on him.
what? Actually, my
Awesome.
hearing's still good. So
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Man, I really appreciate it, man. Great
Thanks so
talking to
much
you
for having
guys,
us on.
man.
yeah, thanks for having us on.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.